You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Glee Project After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Glee Project After Show.
Hey, everybody! Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another AfterBuzz. This is the Glee Project, Season 2, Episode 2, Vulnerability. I feel like I'm a mile from my mic, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I am Tamara Berg. You can tweet me at Tamara Berg. And I am joined in studio by Steve Bottomley.
Hello.
And Christy-Anne Lopez.
Hello, everybody.
And we've got Marissa engineering for us in the booth.
Marissa.
Hello. And there has been one bottle of wine drunk between 3 of us. I'm just going to be full
and we're not going to
disclosure
say
right
which 3.
So you have to guess which one
of us
did
may
not.
be not buzzed.
That's right. One of these
By the way,
things
Mile from
is
the Mic,
not like the other.
Great Coachella band.
Oh.
We've got so much to talk about.
We do. We're going to have to breeze through this. First of all, I got here early this week.
Woo!
Okay.
I did not.
Oh, yeah, there's always one.
And it's been a little bit of a schizophrenic road to get us here tonight. And so we have things to talk about. Okay. So let's just get right into it. Vulnerability was the topic for the night. Correct. Michael saying right off the top, I don't have a lot of experience with being vulnerable, which I just think was funny. Yeah. So the homework assignment is Kelly Clarkson's My Life Would Suck Without You. And one of the highlights for me in the first 10 minutes of the show was Charlie saying, you can only be so vulnerable with a bass line that goes, okay, which made me love him.
That's my first point, though.
Okay, bring it, Steve. I've had wine. I just gave it away.
Yeah, okay, you're one of them.
I am ready to battle with you.
If the cameras start going all over the place, we know that the so critiques are starting in the confessional now.
Yes.
So now we're starting to see the shift of like they're starting to drop their guard a little bit.
From being very nice and very playing.
We're all a team player.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to see the pressures because usually you're thinking, okay, I got to keep it still team player. And now they're kind of going, oh my God, are you kidding me? So I saw on this episode, I saw a lot of subtle shifts that I think are going to start to play out. Anyway, so that's my
okay. I think that's a good note. The conflict between Eileen and Lily in the choosing parts, and they both wanted the same.
Okay, again,
number.
Quick note on that one.
Bring it.
Jesus Take It does not work in a competition.
No, right?
This is not sort of like okay, I'll be the martyr. Martyrs don't win.
No, they don't.
So what you should have done is said, okay, well, we have a problem, and I'm not backing down. How do we fix this?
Right. Right.
Instead of like, so
right,
again,
passive aggressive crap is what Eileen pulled out. Yeah. So Cory Monteith was the judge. Did you have anything to say, Christy-Anne? We're kind of like blah blah blah.
As soon as he walked inside, I was like, okay.
I know, right?
I can stop the show right here. That was good enough for me.
I know, he was really handsome.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When is he not handsome?
Well, I don't know. You've seen him in person, but we haven't.
Well, to be honest, on the show, on Glee, sometimes I'm like, I mean, Puck is more my thing. But, I mean, when he walked into that room, I was like, hello.
Well, plus it was also the critique where he's like this.
Yeah.
He's watching him sing and going,
I've seen that face before. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Or you don't have to know what I mean, but that's okay.
Maybe. I'm not going there because Steve's like my brother, so I'm not talking about it in front of him.
Not to
Cory's
mention
there.
John has the internet. So there's that.
There are people who might not like me talking about stuff like that. Okay, so let's just go straight to the song, My Life Would Suck Without You. I thought the intro... Okay, first of all, I thought... Steve, I really liked it. I thought it was beautiful. I loved the intro with all the voices. I thought the mix was beautiful with the harmonies. I thought Mario was outstanding. I thought Abraham was outstanding. And I thought Blake freaking lit it on fire. He was...
He really has it right here.
He's got it going on right here.
He does. And I thought he was a little bit pitchy.
Yes.
In that thing.
Yeah, he was. He was. I agree with that.
And here's the thing. This is not a competition about singing, because they all can sing.
Right? It's about
whatever their
performance.
It's about being an overall.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that they should put on the top of each show. This is not a competition. This is boot camp.
Right.
And
that,
she
which
said
is
that
what Nikki
later
said.
on.
She said at the end.
And that should be just like across the door when they go in, because that really is what this show is. It is boot camp for these kids.
Who I really liked in this challenge was Aileen. I thought Aileen sounded really good.
She did.
And Nellie sounded really good too. I was just like, ooh, Nellie, like, hey girl. Haven't really heard you stand out in a while, but like, ooh,
exactly.
Loved it. Loved it.
And Cory Monteith brought it up, and I'm glad he did. Lily going out there singing, sounding good, and then doing this random hair move. It was dissonant.
Unnecessary.
It didn't work. I thought it was manufactured. And when you're trying to convey vulnerability,
that's what I liked about this thing is that everybody was still. You know, they were just sitting there, so it had to be an internal, projection. What I didn't like, and there's no way around it, is it Allie, who was carried?
Yes.
We were like, where's Allie? Where's Allie?
Yeah,
right, because it seems artificial.
Well, it was just kind of like, oh, so you had to deal with that, and it was just kind of like.
And you think they didn't really deal with it?
No, I think they could have. I think they could have
deft way.
I think they could have just stayed separate. I think they could have all just stayed where they are, and just, if it's all about vulnerability, don't come together at the end.
And it did distract us.
Be vulnerable and be by yourself. Go ahead.
Sorry, but it did distract us from the actual performance, because we're like, wait, where is she? Where's Allie?
Right, it takes you out of the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That was my issue with it.
Yeah, but overall, did you like the piece, Christy-Anne?
I did. I thought they sounded really good.
Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I've never have a problem with their opening stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, their voices are just locked, and there's not enough choreography there to be tricky
to be
crazy.
critical of, yeah. And again, the thing that I really liked about it was that they had harmonies and they sang in concert with each other. Because a lot of times it's people competing. You've got 12 people, or however many it is at this point, 12 people competing for a solo. And I like that they were all working together on this piece. And that was really nice.
Right.
SaveTheSingOff.com.
Boom.
Is that the song they sang? I think that was.
It was. Okay, so then the video assignment is REM's Everybody Hurts. And it's all about teen bullying. Now, I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at the Facebook page and things that are in the news today for the Glee Project, but Cory Monteith did PSA.
Yes, I did see that.
For, anti-bullying PSA. And did you watch it?
I did. I
thought it was really good, really effective. And it's an issue that I think is, obviously, it's very important. It's something that when I was a kid was just expected. Somebody's going to get thrown in the trash can. You hope it's not you today.
It's like everyone can relate.
Yeah.
Everyone
I think they can. I think they can. And so it's really nice that it's becoming something that people are taking seriously and considering, as an issue that needs to be addressed and not swept under the rug. So good on that for the Glee Project.
I grew up in the Pro Bowl of bullying.
God,
I
no
grew
kidding,
up in
right?
Orange County in
Oh,
74.
yeah.
So, yeah, these guys were the best of the best at being bullies. So, you just kind of knew it was coming and you took your lump.
Right.
But there was some interesting things that came out of that. First of all, everybody had a story. There were two interesting ones that I liked. I liked that Blake didn't help.
Yes.
Right,
I thought that was his moment, and Lily was the bully, which
just real quickly on the Blake thing. I think it was Eric White, because he was interviewing everybody. He says, we're not going to be choreography heavy this week. I want to hear people's stories. And he said, being bullied is a terrible thing. Being bullied is a terrible thing, but not stopping bullying is exactly the same. And I would say, it's not exactly the same thing.
Isn't.
I challenge that, actually.
I do too.
And but it is a terrible thing. It's very complex though, because I've been actually as an adult I've been bullied. I have a really long story that I'm sure you actually know, but nobody else
we're behind,
does.
so do tell.
Okay, no, I'm not going to tell it. But I was protecting my sister. It was she was younger than me. We were both adults. We were being bullied by all things a bunch of Marines.
Oh,
And I had to stand up to them, and I was terrified the entire time. And my sister didn't know about it, and nobody else knew about it, but those guys did. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And, you know, I've been in situations at other times where I haven't stood up for people, and I don't think it's the same thing. But it is a degree in the timeline of bullying, and you know, it's something to consider. And so I love that Blake brought up that he felt remorse for not helping somebody.
That's something that sticks with you. You know, that's something that you can't really forget because you're like, what if I did something?
Yep.
What if I blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, that was great that he brought that up.
I was interested in that because, well, we'll discuss it later. But also, let me just ask, did it surprise anybody that Lily was a bully?
Right?
I mean, I was kind of like going, no, okay, no, it didn't surprise me. Sorry,
Yeah.
it didn't surprise me.
It didn't surprise me at all.
It didn't
Yeah.
me either.
Yeah, and here's what I did like. I like that she like saw the, you know, said, "Oh my God, this is who I am." Called the girl, you know, apologized and did all that, and you know, she had the strength to say, "Hey guys, I was actually the bully."
Right, and that's got to be a hard thing to
Yeah,
admit. That's
especially
incredibly honorable to
when
bring
you're-
it up.
You're surrounded by the people that you probably were bullying in
Right,
your heyday,
right,
so.
and you're in a competition right now, so there's
So-
another element of that at this moment.
Yeah.
So, okay, one thing I will say, I am kind of pissed at the Glee Project for teasing the fight between Eileen and
Yeah.
Lily as being real, and
I
it wasn't.
agree.
That's
Yeah.
crap. Don't
was-
you know? Stop manipulating us. like
Here's
that.
the thing. Here's the
That
thing.
makes me
Here's
mad.
my note on this episode to the Glee Project creators.
Yep.
You are playing with editing.
Right.
Right.
And
Well-
there's some of that you go, okay, I get what you're doing, but some of it you're going, okay, now you're just playing with us.
Right.
a little
Exactly. Now you're
misleading.
just manipulating
Yeah.
us.
So you know, find the line.
Right.
And respect the viewers because once
Right,
you
exactly.
start crossing that, we're going to be going, yeah, sure, whatever. Mm-hmm. So don't,
Yeah, because I'm a little dubious now,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that annoys me.
yeah.
Okay, so crap, I can't read my notes. Oh,
Well,
now we have
let me
Cory
just say one
Monteith.
thing. Let me just say one
Yeah.
thing about vulnerability as an
Okay,
actor.
Steve.
As an actor. And this goes back to my point about these kids being young.
Yep.
Is understanding the difference between prostituting your moments and utilizing your moments. And that takes training. It takes years.
Life experience,
It takes
yes.
life experience.
Yeah, it does.
And because we're going, when is your saddest thing? It's like, well, you're not
You're
going
not
to delve into your saddest thing because you're not ready to understand the process of, I'm not really letting it go. I'm just utilizing it as a tool.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's a tangent. And I'm sorry, but you
No,
know.
it's okay, but it's an important thing
Because I
to
think
talk about.
We'll end up talking about it later, but some things come off more genuine because it is coming from a real place. And then, you know, for other contestants, they might be grabbing it and using it as a tool, just like you just said. So,
Right.
and we see that in the
But
video.
but knowing the difference, having the training to know the difference,
Right.
and not, you know, screwing it up.
Right. And, you know, I think that kind of came into play when Eileen was talking about how when she was giving her story, and I can't remember, I think it was with Nikki actually, and she was giving her story and talking about how she was a Muslim and people were calling her a terrorist. Honestly, and again, we have to take into account editing, but honestly, my thought was, what she was saying was manufactured. I was feeling like Eileen was probably one of the stronger kids, probably one of the cooler kids, and she had to kind of manufacture a painful moment. And I will say that that's what the producers are looking for, so you got to figure out how to bring it up.
That was actually one thing that I did believe that finally came out of her mouth.
Really?
Because usually anything Alien says, I'm like, oh, shut up. Like, I do not believe you. But in this episode or in this situation, I actually really, maybe I'm falling for it, but I really did feel for her.
I think it was a
did.
hybrid. I think she probably experienced it through friends and was
Okay.
able to experience their pain. But I agree with you, Tammy, in the point that I don't doubt for a minute she would step up to somebody and hold her ground.
yeah, absolutely.
But I believe that she had really, really good friends that had to go through it. So
Yes.
you know, again, pull from wherever you can. Just in the end of the day, it's a competition.
It is a
Do what you need
competition.
to do to stay alive.
gotta do.
But God, I want to get to that video.
Okay. So just a couple of extra things. Nellie, I thought looked beautiful. Had her
She
hair
really
off her
did.
face, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
looked so pretty.
Did we mention
Yeah.
that she won? She won
She did win
the
the
homework
homework.
challenge.
Yeah,
She won. She got to talk to Cory Monteith. Yeah, whatever. And
They did
then
dinner.
Lily, her sync was off. Blake was an excellent actor, and Michael was a good actor. That was a
scene.
conversation between Zach and Eric and Robert. Aren't you impressed that I've got those names right? And okay, so then, and real quickly, we'll talk about the cane. Mario taking, having his cane, and Charlie walking up and taking out of his hands. Okay, we got to get to this really quick because
Yes.
we got to get to our
Amazon.
next thing. But Steve, tell me your take on that.
I thought it was the right thing to do. I thought Charlie
Charlie to do it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, would you have gone up to Mario and say, "Hey, I'm going to do this. Just be ready for it," just to clue him in? Absolutely.
Yeah, that probably would have been a good thing to do.
But if you are on a competition and
Mm-hmm.
you have to show them that I can go deeper than anybody else,
Outside the box.
outside the box, at the
Stretch,
very
yeah.
least, you are pulled aside and said, "Hey, appreciate what you did." You do not make an issue out of it. You do not shut anybody down. It's like being in.
No, that's one of the first
Yes.
first things of acting. You don't shut people down. It's
No.
yes and.
Yes, and so if he crossed a line, then you pull him aside and go, "Okay, we're going to deal with this and everything, but we appreciate what you did." You don't cut him off at the ankle.
I totally agree with that. I mean, Zach and Robert on the side going, that was unacceptable that he took his cane away. I thought that was crap. I thought it was BS.
I think he could have done it where you definitely, if you're going to do something like that, you clue in the guy that's happening to, and just
Yes.
and if Mario goes, "Yeah, it's cool, do it,"
Right.
okay, then then you're clear, and then.
Yeah, here's the other thing. They were talking about how it was dangerous and it was this and it was that. It wasn't dangerous. I'm sorry. I don't
think so it was.
maybe we missed something, but he was in a controlled environment. It's not like he was walking down a real street with
Right.
real cars going by. They were on a set, on a location. There were hundreds of people watching, or dozens anyway. And to say it was dangerous and to say it was reckless, I think is crap. And I think,
sorry,
I think
and-
that was manufactured.
I actually agreed with the mentors when I first saw it. I didn't think that it was appropriate for him to do that at all. I mean, his direction was to stay behind him and heckle and taunt or whatever. And yes, I understand when you're an actor, you really want to take it to the next level
Right.
and really
Right.
run that risk. But, to your point, I think that he should have pulled, Mario aside to expect it. And and also, they all know these kids personally, so I think they took it a lot more personal than at a professional setting.
And you know what? If it's a live thing, then you have to go with the you get the one take.
So
But
I'm just gonna-
but go ahead.
yeah, what?
You know what else we do when we're watching this show? We also go shopping on Amazon.
Yes,
and
lady.
What you can do when you go shopping on Amazon is you can go to AfterBuzzTV.com first and then click on to Amazon, because in that way we get some help over here. At
We do.
AfterBuzz, and it is at no extra cost to you guys to shop. And am I missing anything?
No, just go to AfterBuzz.com.
And then go to
AfterBuzz
AfterBuzz.com.
TV.com. Click on the banner that's Amazon. It
and
takes you to
shop
the
away.
Amazon website.
Do your
and shop away.
shopping. Just
And
go
shop away.
through us.
Yes,
We
we
are your
really
conduit.
appreciate
You
it.
got- Good job. That was
We
her first
really
read.
appreciate
So
it.
good job on the commercial, Christy-Anne. Yay.
Christy-Anne.
Anyway, I just think it was unfair.
I do too. I just disagreed with that. I'm sorry, but I disagreed. Okay, but one of the things we want to talk about is Lily 100% convincing as a bully.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I would've ran too.
So may I just ask
Yeah. Yes, you may. I know what you're going to ask.
who decided to
Do
put
it.
her in the cheerleading outfit? I mean, what? Here are
She's
here
not
are
the
my
girl in the
issues.
air. She's a base.
I know this is probably going to get us. This is going to get us mail, and we love the mail.
We do.
We are going to touch on it later.
We will.
have our mail slot. But listen. So here are 3 things that bothered me in the video. Number 1, Blake. Why not let him see a bully and not take action? That was his vulnerable moment. Why not deal with that and say,
That's a really great point. I'm thinking it through. I'm listening to my head, and I'm thinking, now we have to be careful because we'll talk about it in the news and gossip, but a passive choice sometimes doesn't translate. That's the only reason I might say that's the case.
except that he said it in the when
Right,
they were
we have the
confessing.
backstory to
right,
get-
right.
yeah.
And I thought
Yeah.
that would have been a great thing to just just stand there. I mean, that's a painful thing to go through.
Especially the aftermath of it, of
and
realizing that you didn't help someone.
And having the kid that's being bullied just look up to him like, why couldn't you help me? I think that would have been a powerful moment, and it would have been him just being vulnerable. The other thing, why did you
I think that's a really beautiful suggestion. I will say that. I think that's
I'm
really good.
available
Honestly.
to write for you people.
Okay.
Why take the orange hair off?
Yeah,
Abraham, you're being bullied because you're different. What makes you different?
You're
orange crow.
You're Rufio orange crow.
Yeah, why are you doing that? Why do you take that? And then, my last thing is, why are you putting Lily in a cheerleading outfit? But
with a mic pack on her back.
With a mic pack on her back. Come on, guys.
Because they don't have the budget of Glee. They have the budget of Glee
But
Project.
she wasn't singing. Yank it. You don't. Anyway.
Okay, so let's talk about the actual video. My favorite moment was, I'm surprised to say this, but it was the moment where Lily was on top of Eileen, hitting her, choking her, whatever she was doing. And they did that POV from above and did the pullback.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was incredibly powerful, wasn't it?
You, girl. Yes,
it was
I just
beautiful.
really felt for her. I really felt for her. And it was all in her eyes.
It was evocative.
So
we connected with her. We were also kind of getting that sort of, omniscient feel from it. I thought it was gorgeous. And overall, my big note, I heart the video. I loved the video. Steve, tell me what you thought.
Here's the thing. I think they're trying to remember what bullying is.
Yeah.
Because I don't buy for a second that they would be taking the girl in the wheelchair,
Allie,
and throwing her pages all over the place. I mean, generally speaking, there's a reason why you're bullied. And, here's the thing. I think they're trying to figure out, without coming out and saying it, we're bullying you because you're gay. We're bullying you because of this. We're bullying you because of this.
Right.
So, okay, what would they... And here's the thing. I think, again, you're going to take the blind kid's cane. It's a video about bullying. I mean, that to me, that's kind of like, okay, well, you just won the prize.
That's
a
gimme, right.
And, oh, by the way, in Orange County, when I grew up, that would have happened.
Absolutely,
and,
it would have happened.
And he would not have gotten the cane back. That is the reality.
Up on the other side of the school where the stoners go smoke.
Exactly. When I'm talking about the pro team of bullying, that's who I grew up with. So when I see it, I'm like, well, yeah, that's exactly right. What do you? So, and the other thing is, for me, the REM song is just like, I want to put a gun to my head because it's so depressing.
Oh, okay. It's not you hate the song, it's just a painful song.
It's just a depressing song where it's just like, going, oh God, I hate my life. Thank
when
you,
they were
REM.
saying that, I was
Thanks
like...
for reminding me, REM.
Exactly. But did everybody bring the game? I'd say 90% of them brought the game.
They did.
And I think they could have. I don't understand the choices they made.
I was really, really happy with Blake's performance overall.
Yes.
I think that he is... he's just so commanding on film. Like, you just see him there and you want more and more and more of Blake. He sounded well. He had great scenes in the music video. And on top of that, I mean, maybe I have a crush on him, but he did well. He did really well.
I have a little hard time getting past his hairdo. I really look forward to next week or the week after where they change his hair. But, the person who really shone for me was Michael. Yeah. And I mean, he really showed up, and we actually talked about it before because we got a comment on iTunes. So I'm going to actually talk about iTunes right now.
iTunes moment.
Please. Our podcast, as you know, because you're probably listening to us on iTunes, please go to iTunes and rate and comment on us and tell a friend. It only takes a minute, but we really appreciate the ratings and the comments. And actually, I have two that I want to talk about. The first is from huge Glee Project fan 7, whose name we don't know. I think it's a girl. I'm just going to say it's a girl right now because there are a lot of smiley faces. And I'm just going to make the generalizations that it's usually girls that to use the smiley faces. And she said that if she got a shout out, she might die. Don't die, but shout out to huge Glee Project fan 7.
Can I just say, evidently there's 6 fans that are a little bit bigger than you. You just step your game up a little bit, 7.
Give us your name.
Go with huger. Number 1.
You can also send us comments on our Facebook page and huge Glee Project 7. If you let us know your name, we'll talk about you next week. But
we'll have you in as a guest.
Yeah, exactly. The other comment that we got was someone, Glee lover, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, talked about Michael. And this person made a comment last week, and she said that and again, I'm assuming it's a girl, but I don't know for sure. But I'm making the assumption because she talks about Michael, that Michael's acting was really amazing in the video. I don't know where that video was because I looked for it earlier today before it came out on today's episode. I found an a cappella piece that they did on Perez Hilton, and I found a couple of other pieces, but maybe it's somewhere out in the ethers that's in an unauthorized place. But they talked about how Michael was so great in the video, and Michael was really a star in the video for me as I was watching it tonight. I thought he was fantastic because before he was kind of, one of the white guys, one of the brown-haired white guys.
Right.
Yeah.
But today he really showed up, and I thought that was fantastic for him.
Yeah, he needed to do something because he was, like the red shirt guy in Star Trek.
Right.
Dude,
exactly.
you're going down to the planet.
You're going to be dead by the end of the episode.
Sorry. No, you don't get a transponder. Sorry, no. There's no need.
I think we need to give Nelly some props this week.
Yes.
I'm so glad that she got her, her spotlight this week.
She's beautiful.
She has such a great
She is
voice.
gorgeous.
Beautiful
She
face,
really
yeah.
is.
She really is.
Now, do we know what her sexual appreciation is?
No, we don't. I'm assuming she likes the girls. Because she's kind of androgynous
She is.
looking.
She's very androgynous, and that's why I'm curious why she's not
beautiful.
utilizing that. It's just a natural beauty.
Yeah, she's really gorgeous. She's from Tacoma, Washington, which is where my sister Indy teaches. Hey, Indy.
Hey, Indy.
And a coffee house singer, and talked about how in the coaching or in the vocalize that, I don't really dig that deep, which is interesting for me to a coffee house singer. They tend to be, let's talk about me. I'm going to sing about me, and I'm going to tell you about me.
This is my angst and pain.
Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting. But again, she showed up and looked really beautiful in this piece. And so
It was, yeah.
And it was surprising. Is that what you were just going to say?
It was surprising, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So based on all of that, the bottom three, Steve, your predictions were...
My predictions
Lily
were Charlie
was
and
one of them.
Lily. Those are my first two. I wasn't sure about the last one, so I just threw in Tyler because he's always there.
Because Tyler's always in the bottom three.
It's like it's like the Tyler Cafe. Come on, I need two people. Come on
And
in.
Tyler.
I was wrong. It was I keep forgetting her name.
Lily,
Charlie.
Mario, and Charlie.
Oh, Mario. Of
Yeah, it wasn't
course.
her. It was Lily. Lily, Mario, and Charlie. Interesting that unanimously they loved Blake
Yeah.
Yeah.
in their comments. So Lily, Mario,
yeah.
and Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay, so I loved the song choices. I thought they're really amazing with the choices of the songs for these people.
Can we just say what put them on the bottom?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Lily, it's the same issue she's been having.
Yep.
You're not really listening. You've got your own agenda. This was about vulnerability, and we saw none of it. And you were just nothing but strong and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think she's long for this particular world.
I don't think so either.
Because she is strong and she's not listening. It's boot camp. That's where who they gave that line to. This is boot camp, and you have to listen to the people that are around you. Mario was about pitch. He was about not nailing it in the studio, and he did the worst thing you can do. He went up against them when they were telling him what was wrong.
Right. He challenged the note.
Challenge the
You don't
note.
challenge the note.
Never challenge
You
the
write
note.
down the note. You challenge it in your bedroom
Yes.
at night when you're
Yes.
thinking about it yourself,
Yes.
but you don't challenge the note in the moment because
Exactly.
notes are valid always.
Always.
You just
He
take them.
threw out the I'm classically trained line. We've heard that one before.
And,
And oh my
We've heard that one.
God, don't say
Right.
it.
No,
Stop
right.
it.
No, and,
Stop
and,
it. We're
and
done
the
with
other
that.
thing he was saying was like, well, that makes you that you're assuming that I'm not ready for this and that sort of thing, and then they're like going, well, yeah, you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
And
you're
then-
here.
And then Charlie was unfair. Dang it, he was there because of his impromptu
Right.
moment.
Acting choice.
Yeah, and so I just don't think it was fair, but there he was.
He did handle the moment really well when Ryan had to put him on the spot and say, you know, I heard you had like, you know, an appropriate situation. Like, tell me about it. I think he really stepped to the plate and said, you know, I apologize. Right. He did exactly.
Okay, so who was the first singer in the final three? Because I just wrote them down.
It was Lily.
Was it Lily? Okay, so she sang Mercy. I felt like it was lackluster, and Ryan Murphy said, "You are not an underdog."
Right.
And that's exactly what you were getting. And I think it has everything. She is an underdog. She's just not being herself. Because as much as I want to believe and love that she's a plus-sized gal and is embracing it, she's, 19, 20, 21 years old. That can't be easy. And she's not connecting with the pain of it.
I would guess that this episode scared the hell out of her because in order to show that vulnerability, she's got to strip away so many protective layers. I'm not doing a pun here. So many protective layers that, you know, has kept her from just being in such pain.
Right.
That would require some professional therapy.
Yeah,
afterward.
exactly.
She gave a little picture of it at the end, but that was.
Right, it was just a glimpse.
I'm trying to save my place. That's
right.
Not.
Right. I didn't believe Annie.
And this episode was vulnerability, and she glanced on vulnerability. She didn't go into it, and so
you did not buy it for a minute.
Not 1 second.
Yeah.
I was like, she is gonna try and cry and beg her way in to, you know,
to stay in the fight.
Yeah.
But you know what? Here's the thing, though. You have to respect the fighter. You have to say, okay, she's not going down. She's going to fight. But I think of all of the contestants, of all the kids in there, she had the most to sell. As far as if she had the strength and the courage to dig down and say, okay, this is the amount of pain I've taken since whatever age. If I dig and let this go, there's a torrent of emotion coming your way.
Yeah.
And she didn't do it.
And she chose not to. She chose not to.
Because that's her biggest defense mechanism. She can't tear that down.
Of course.
That's the thing. Her strength is what's going to keep her from...
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. And, you know, isn't that an interesting paradox?
It is.
And, I mean, with
but
the
not
song
for
Mercy,
a competition.
No. Oh, my God.
Overall, the performance just wasn't good.
Okay, next we had Charlie. Is that right?
Yes.
Who sang Coldplay's Fix You. Love the song.
So good.
And oh, I have so many funny notes. I loved this one, and I thought for a moment Nikki was, you know, back and sort of glorying in the ecstasy of the moment. And I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say your line, Steve, that Nikki was gonna go into labor.
Honestly, they should just record us watching the show because there's a lot that we can't say on the air.
We can't say most of it,
yeah,
right?
That's true.
But I loved it, and I love what Ryan Murphy said, which was he said every note. I didn't know where you were going, and then I was, you know, anxious about it, and then went, thank God you went there and you did it and you hit it, and for me that is the ultimate of divinity, quite frankly, and artistry and creativity and you know, touching the divine and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's that, and I may be overstating it, but that's what it was for me.
Just someone who keeps their audience on their toes, you know, just like, ooh, I was into that. I really liked that. You know?
Keep them guessing, keep them wanting more.
I don't know if it was intentional, but what he had to do in that moment is not only apologize yet again for what I don't think was
a
necessary.
Discretion,
but remind everybody why he's still there.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, I think he did it exactly right. He was still humble. He was still, you know, like they talked to him a little bit about it, and he's like, you know, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. But he reminded everybody why he's still deserving in that competition.
The word that comes to mind for me with this performance is virtuosity. So it's taking something to not just the next level, but to you know, an incredible level. And I just thought it was a fantastic performance. And Ryan Murphy, I think, said it was the best thing he'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And I would say that was true for me too.
And he knew he was going to nail it as soon as he got the song. He was like, oh, thank you. So
it was amazing.
I was
It
really
was
pleased. I
amazing.
didn't think he deserved it. I'm glad that he was. And look, so in the end, he was able to show everybody, okay, thank you for this opportunity. Now this is what I can do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it worked out okay for him.
Okay, so then we had Mario do Over the Rainbow, which was it was a combination of Judy Garland and Israel Kama'akahuki, or
Yeah.
whatever that guy's name is that's got 26 letters in it.
It was a combination of MGM and YouTube.
Right.
Is what it was.
Right, and you didn't like it.
I didn't like it at
Okay,
all.
I liked it a lot. I thought
loved
the
it.
vocal was beautiful.
choose. Okay, if you want to go YouTube, just have the ukulele and have him do it. If you want to be legitimate to the song, then be legitimate to the song. I don't like the fact that suddenly somewhere over the rainbow you're going to be thinking, oh, that needs a ukulele, because no.
I think you're ridiculous.
I think that's the
I'm
modern
going to say
version.
you're wrong.
I
It
think
is.
that's-
It's the
yeah.
modern version. It's the pop version. It's
Yes.
the
Well,
version that everyone is.
man, and we don't like those ukuleles. We don't like YouTubes. You want to go on the TV, you sit on it like everyone else. In my day, you can't with these damn screens. How the hell do you sit on this?
I just disagree. It's the kind of classic hybrid. It's the bring it together. It's the old world and the new.
Yeah.
Coming together.
I'll come around.
I thought his vocal was excellent on it.
No, I listen. I like both versions of it. I enjoy seeing it.
Yeah.
It's just that I didn't like seeing it like, oh, this is the new standards. Like, no, it isn't. Knock it off. Anyway.
All right.
It just sounded beautiful. His voice sounded great.
And that's the other thing.
And as
his
I was
voice-
comparing
oh,
all of the three performances, I mean, it was a lot better than Lily's.
But let me ask you
Connected
this.
it.
Did you not feel that he was pushing a little bit? He was trying to show, I am classically trained. I am going to hit every note
If you're
exactly
going to show it
perfect,"
off, it's when you're singing For Your Life at the end for Ryan Murphy. That's when you're going to do it.
as opposed to being a little bit vulnerable.
You're an ass. And this is not the moment to be vulnerable. This is the moment to show them what you've got. And you were just saying with Charlie, what did Charlie do? He brought it.
Yeah?
He did.
No, I know.
And I'm
here's
saying
the
what
thing, though.
Mario did was Mario brought it.
And what put
I
Mario
felt-
on the bubble was his, stance about I'm classically trained. So as soon as he started singing,
Well,
I'm
because-
thinking, okay, are you going to go to your classically trained? And I thought he did a little bit.
I felt the vulnerability from Mario, and I felt the vulnerability from Charlie as well.
Okay.
I
then.
felt
Not
it.
from Lily.
Not so much from Lily.
Lily's not going to be long for this show. I'm just saying right now.
She's twice on the bubble, right?
So then
Yes,
after
twice, last week and this week.
Yeah.
So after that, my prediction was that Lily was going to go. Your prediction?
I wanted Lily to go.
And Steve?
Yeah, I was pretty much in
He
the
really
Lily
wants
camp.
Lily to go right now.
And take the ukulele with you.
And they go to
And the cheerleading uniform.
they take the ukulele, the radio pack,
And by
and
the
the
way-
cheerleading uniform and get out.
And evidently, Ryan was coming from some sort of military thing that-
with his jacket.
with a Sergeant Pepper's look. I don't know what was going on there, Ryan, but okay.
So I am a sucker for sentimental moments.
Yeah.
And they brought it up, and I will say I teared up because all of them were called back. It totally took me by surprise.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
And the only thing I can think is because Taryn left last
Exactly.
week.
Freebie.
They had a freebie.
Right,
and they're
they had a
like,
freebie.
And they couldn't decide.
But what a great
I
thing to
could
do.
decide. I mean, I thought.
I know, I could have decided
could've
too. Does Ryan
decided.
Murphy want to call us next time? Because we'll
Right.
tell him what to do.
But here's what I liked about it. It's kind of like when the cop pulls you over and goes, "I'm giving you a warning," and you gotta go, "I'm never ever doing that again," and
Yeah.
you don't
Until
because-
next week.
Well,
When
some
I
of
do,
us don't.
When I do it again.
But no, I like that they all, but if somebody had to go, we knew who it could have been.
And she will go
Yeah, I
eventually.
think
I'm
so.
sorry, Lily, but this isn't your deal.
Because honestly, I don't think
You don't
Mario
have
deserved
it.
to be on the bubble for what he did. I don't think Charlie deserved to be on the bubble for what he did.
I agree with you.
But here's what's happening.
Yep.
They're all so good that now the minutia is going to start coming
Well,
in.
and we're getting to the point in the next, I'd say 3 weeks, we're getting to the point where everybody absolutely could be on Glee, and it's going to be incredibly painful from that point on out. And that's what happened last season. I, was practically crying every episode
Right.
because it was breaking my heart that they were taking somebody off.
So,
and
so
we're
the little
getting
moments
into that
become
pretty soon.
bigger and bigger, and the
Yep.
little mistakes become huge.
That's right. Yes, they do. Yes, they they do. So I want to go to commercial now, and then I have some news and gossip. So let's go to commercial.
Hey there, good buddies. The handle's Woolly Bear. I'm a truck driving man, but I'm not that old school kind of truck driving man, no. I like to listen to podcasts while I'm driving through these great United States of ours. And my favorite podcasts in the world are from AFTERBUZZ TV. And why? Because AFTERBUZZ TV is like a post-game wrap-up show for all your favorite TV shows. Like Jersey Shore, Dancing with the Stars, Mad Men, and a whole truckload more. I like listening to my Gossip Girl podcast, catching up with all my fellow fans and getting all the latest news and gossip. No, I got some strong opinions. And AFTERBUZZ TV lets me share those opinions with thousands of other listeners. Woo-wee, what a feeling. I used to doze off on those lonely stretches of road. And don't worry, I got the cruise control. But now I'm wide awake and listening to all the AFTERBUZZ TV goodness. Check them out. Give them a holler. And tell them the old Woolly Bear sent you.
That is a new commercial for us, and so I don't always know where the finish is of it.
Yes.
I'm kind of listening.
I think it's something
We're kind
about
of talking.
Woolly Bear.
Woolly Bear.
Tell 'em Woolly Bear sent you.
Something jamboree. I don't even know. Okay, so let's talk about some news.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
Okay, last week we saw Danny Shay leave the show, and I have an interview with her where she talked about a lot of different things. And one of the things that she talked about was her choice to play her part in the music video sitting on the couch and being kind of passive. She said that I was taking on the advice that Leah Michelle had given me in the week prior, where she said, be more yourself. And Danny says, okay, I'm going to be my chill, relaxed self because honestly, that's how I would be at a party. Steve?
You can't.
You can't, right?
You can't.
Okay, Steve and I have both. Have you done any acting? Have you done any acting training, Christy-Anne?
I mean, like in high school and college and stuff. Nothing
Okay,
crazy.
so Steve and I have. And, you know, you can't, and are writers as well.
No.
You can't play passive. You can't play boring. You can't play bored in the typical ways of living your life. And so that was, for me, an immature choice. What do you think about that?
No, absolutely. The absolute wrong time to pull on that particular advice is when you're sitting on a couch with action going on all around you. You have to think of a way to inject yourself into the action.
Yeah.
This is the level, and this is you.
Yeah.
And it's just, it was an experience.
And otherwise, you end up looking boring.
Yeah.
And you don't show up, and you know what happens? You get cut off the Glee Project.
Right.
You do get a moment.
You do, and you get an interview the week after, and then it's over. Somebody asked her, "Are you sick of the comparison to Justin Bieber?" And she said,
Justine Bieber.
Justine Bieber.
"It gets old."
Because they're both women?
How did?
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
What? Wait, what?
What?
Oh, snap!
Oh, Marissa.
No, I'm kidding. One of them's not.
I'm not even going to go there. I don't know who you're talking
she's a
about.
twin sister.
Next, we have Damian McGinty, who was one of the winners of Glee Project Season 1. We still do not know whether or not he is coming back to the next season of Glee. While touring with the Glee Project, Damian McGinty made very clear how much he enjoyed being part of the McKinley High gang and said, quote, "The last 18 months have been the best time of my life, and I will accept whatever happens, and I will move on, or I would love to stay on the show."
Wow, that sounds like it's not his decision.
It's absolutely not his decision.
Yeah,
and
it
the
sounds like
writers,
someone's made a decision.
well, no, but they haven't told him yet.
No.
They did not write him out of the show, but they had him proclaim in the later episodes of this last season that his visa was not extended for another year.
Yeah,
So
he's getting some stuff through his agent. Somebody is sending a word down from somewhere, and they're just like prepping him.
for the letdown?
Well, doesn't it sound like that? I mean, you know, when you start getting news like that, and, you know, people are calling you going, hey, you know, those negotiations and stuff. I mean, that's kind of the blurbs that you send out.
Well, here's my take on it. I don't think that they did a good job writing his character on Glee.
I agree.
He felt like he was crowbarred in, like this is an obligation that we have to fulfill.
Right.
He was so charming on the Glee Project. He's an incredibly talented, charming kid, and they made him a bit of a caricature on Glee. That's my take on it. Do you agree with that?
Yes. Because he kind of just came out of nowhere, then all of a sudden, oh, he has a crush on, I forget who he had a crush on. I think it's that one. I'm forgetting the,
I
the
can't
character's
either. Yeah,
name.
it's
But
too much to think about.
but
Right
that's
now.
the thing.
agree.
You couldn't remember his character.
Yeah,
Marissa agrees.
I agree because Rory didn't really add anything to the storyline of any of the characters.
Exactly.
You know, he was just there.
Yeah, he was there.
Well, and it makes me wonder, Steve, writer, if they had already written the rest of the season by the time they received the obligation that you have to write Damian McGinty as a character. Let's figure out whose lines we're going to cut 10 lines from each of these people and then stick him in, right?
If
That
that's
sounds
how
right.
it came across, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll bet that's a huge overlay in this season where they're going, okay, guys, we can't have that happen again. So we need somebody that we can work with here. We need something that we can bring to the show that's going to be, you know, a more organic insertion into the show.
Yeah, and I wish that they had done a better job with bringing him in, and I hope that they do.
First year, I mean, there's a lot of growing pains
Yeah,
in this sort of stuff.
Yeah, he's incredibly talented. I think they should bring him back. I think it would be interesting, but they need to do a better job of writing his character.
I mean, they did a really good job with Samuel.
Doesn't sound like
with
they're
Samuel
getting-
Larson.
Yeah, they
I thought
did.
they did a great job with him.
You
They
know,
did.
And again, there may be stuff going on. There may be, attitudinal issues. You know, you don't know. But when you get those sort of blurbs, you know, that really sounds like no.
Like there's more going on behind the
Yeah.
scenes that we're not
Yeah,
aware of. Well,
exactly.
that's a good scoop, I think. I think that's a good scoop. Next, we have that Glenn Beck, conservative talk show host Glenn Beck, is now vowing to attack Glee,
God,
of all things.
Of all the shows, I would
Of
have thought
all the
I would
shows
be
and all the people,
discussing
right?
This particular
He
gentleman.
said in a speech to the Faith and Freedom Coalition conference in Washington last week, it's horrifying some of the things that they're teaching high schoolers. So Glenn
Faith
Beck,
and freedom?
yeah, Glenn
Okay.
Beck waging war against Glee. Thoughts, or would we all like to remain silent?
Well, you know, the fact that you're in something called Faith and Freedom,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to attack a show that's all about having faith in yourself and the freedom to express yourself, and music and all that sort of thing.
Steve.
You know, but then that would require thought. That would require,
Yes.
a keen eye of the irony.
Analysis.
Yeah. So I will just say, Glenn, thanks for the input. You're always enjoyable. And please don't ever get educated, because that would take the fun out of listening to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just think it's really ironic that, and you encapsulated it perfectly.
There you go.
TV Guide had an article out last week called Hating Glee but Loving the Glee Project, A Viewer's Dilemma. And it's an interesting article. I recommend that people look for it and read it. I printed it if you want to see it with my notes on it. And basically, the reviewer said that Glee was great the first season, kind of started to fall down, tried to take on challenges, failed, but where they failed, the Glee Project picked things up and really sort of shone. One of the things they were talking about was subverting stereotypes, and that basically, they brought in Artie with his wheelchair, and how he, instead of embracing the fact that he was in a wheelchair, he had a dream on scene where he ended up being able and dancing. Whereas, on the Glee Project, we have a transgender male, a blind performer, contestants of various body types, in addition to someone in an actual wheelchair, Allie, who doesn't fight it because it's been part of her life for almost her entire life, and basically indicating that the Glee Project does a better job than Glee does on all of these things. It's a funny article. I think you should read it. Oh, and they say that choreographer Zach Woodley makes Sue Sylvester look like a marshmallow.
I mean, that's pretty true. Zach is so harsh. I love it.
I have dreams about Zach sometimes. I think I said that last week, though. Okay, so let's move on to predictions. That is all the news I have this week.
Oh.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Sex.
Coming up.
Coming up.
They're going to do
on
it.
the Glee Project, sex.
They're doing it.
Now, I
All
predict
right.
there's about half of the people I'd be interested in watching on that topic. The other half I will pass.
Not so much.
Not so much. So
I don't
that's my
know. I
prediction.
think Eileen is either going to be, she's going to be challenged. This is my prediction, because she's talking about how she's the big flirt, how she makes things happen, how she kissed freaking everybody. And I think I said it in the room. I'm going to say it tonight.
Yes.
We're going to see.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to know what you're going to say. Because a lot of what you said in the room, I don't think you have the guts to say now.
I'm going to say this right now, that Eileen, her challenge is she going to end up with herpes at the end of next episode?
Sex or the subtitle, Eileen gets herpes.
Eileen gets herpes.
So there you
Christy-Anne,
go.
any
I think
predictions?
she's going to excel at this sex episode. She's going to own it. She's going to go there. This is one thing that she is good at.
Where we're rolling
I
out,
don't know.
you know what? It's going to be more editing, I believe.
Yeah. SaveTheSingoff.com.
SaveTheSingoff.com.
Steve, where can we find you?
At SaveTheSingoff.com or Bottomley Steve.
On Twitter. Christy-Anne.
You can find me on Twitter at Missilo, MISSC_LO.
And you can find me at Tamara Berg, TamaraBerg, for you, those of you who don't know it already. Also, my website, tamaracentral.com. We will see you next week for the Glee Project. It's going to be crazy, and there will be wine.
And there's sex.
Lots of sex, bumping, grinding.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
Save the Sing Off.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.